And now I would love to introduce the next speakers. We have Björn here and Jaime. And question to you, have you ever been dreaming about 4 days work week? Yay! Woo! Yeah, I mean, who hasn't, right? So, and these guys sharing their experience with implementing 4-day work week trial. And in this talk, they will be showcasing a toolchain designed to support this trial, including the use of Atlassian, Slack, HubSpot, Figma, Umano, and a new collaboration tool. So I'm welcoming on stage Jaime and Björn.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Hi. So we are the last one before lunch break, means we can overrun. That's really good. So yeah, I'm Björn. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm co-CEO at Resolution. It's a pleasure to be here, and I have today Jaime with me, and we would like to talk about the 4-day week. So we are doing this since December last year, prepared it or started with the preparation in summer last year. We are a 25-person company. It sounds long, the preparation, but it was really needed, and we would like to explain a little bit our journey, what is our experience, what are our do's, what are our don'ts. And yeah, Jaime.
Yeah, so I'm Jaime Capitel, Content Marketing Manager for Resolution, and I was part of the team that met about a year ago in June last year in Berlin, where it was the first time seeing all of us together after the pandemic. And we took about, I think, 6 hours. It was a long discussion.
Yeah, definitely.
We almost didn't have lunch to talk about the 4-day week, whether it was something that we could actually, was something that we wanted, and whether it's something that we could actually do, and what it would look like in the end. And we discussed different options, and we came up with this model. It's very common to hear stories about startups that have the 4-day week. And what it actually means is that on 4 days, they work really hard, 10 or 12 hours per day. And that didn't really work for us because we already have a very flexible work-life balance kind of thing going on, and we didn't want to lose that.
And so, we are in Germany. We are not allowed to work more as 10 hours per day. So.
Exactly. So what it actually means for us is that we want to work 20% less, one day less, with the same salary. Some people suggested having a higher salary, which would be very nice.
Yeah, we got a couple of requests. So when you implement something like this, be prepared that people asking, oh, I will do the 40 hours and I get 20% more. We said no, that was not the plan.
So 32 hours in 4 days with the same salary, and this is the important piece, with the same productivity. So the same output. Without losing output. And this means ultimately that you need to be 25% more productive every day. So this is a real challenge that we had to figure out.
Yeah, it's super easy to put it on the slide. Okay, let's be 25% more productive. But what is it? What is our productivity and what was our productivity before? So it means we started our journey with this question and also questioned ourselves very honest. And we realized a little bit as a manager, you think, wow, my company runs super great. We have all these amazing tools. We're paying for all the subscription. Everybody is perfect in documenting stuff in Confluence. And at the end, you realize your most important tool is Zoom, yeah.
So we were used to having a lot of face-to-face interactions with Zoom. Being a small company, that is something that you can really do, meeting with everybody in the team throughout the week. It's doable, you can do it. But you just spend time on Zoom meetings, and very often that documentation part, that async part of our culture was missing. That meant that if we just kept working the same way, but having a situation where on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, people are going to be off, those Zoom meetings are going to compress on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then you have back-to-back meetings, and you have no productivity at all on those days. So instead of being 25% more productive, you are less productive. This is what we needed to change.
Yeah, and that was one important part, and we picked out 4 highlights. There's a lot more, so feel free to talk to us over the next days if you want to have a little bit more insights. We are also sharing all our learnings in blog articles, and we are also open to share all our documentations, rules, and so on, that you don't need to figure out, again, what we figured out. But yeah, first highlight is, who's Jaime? Who can choose?
Obviously the guy with the great haircut, right?
Yeah.
So I am the product owner for our out-of-office assistant for Jira. And our most seasoned developer, who was actually developing video games in the 80s, that's our developer for that app. He is our Doug Brown. I'm off on Fridays. He's off on Wednesdays. So this is just an example. For me, it's easy to remember that Michael is off on Wednesdays. And for him, it's easy to remember that I'm off on Fridays. But how do we do this at scale? And we have a small scale, but think of doing this experiment where your company has 100 people, 200 people, 300 people. You need to have a process to basically do proper absence management and give folks an opportunity to discover very easily who is on and who is off, and whether they can discuss something in real time or they need to plan something else. And we decided to do with what we have, basically use our out-of-office assistant for Jira, which essentially allows you to communicate to your colleagues that you are away from the office when you're not working, and reassign issues potentially, if you want to do that, to someone who is available.
But we needed an easier way, because it's fine to do it on vacation or when you're sick to set up a rule 2-3 minutes. Doing it every way would be a little bit stupid. So, and that's why we decided to implement this nice app.
Yeah, we have an integration app for Slack, which allows you to basically control out of office for Jira from Slack, just with the emoji status. So if you put yourself on a palm tree or a sick person, then your connected rule in Jira is going to activate. And depending on your workflow, then your Jira issues that are assigned to you are going to be reassigned to somebody else, to your cover, or people are just going to know that you are not available at that time.
Yeah.
This is not the entire flow. We also want to build the reverse part, which we're working on right now. Basically, also allowing users to create only one rule in out of office that is recurring. So I would create just one rule for every Friday. It's just one action that I have to do, and then on every Friday it just activates automatically. And by doing that, we ensure that we have that accurate data that people can just look on Slack who has the palm tree and know whether they can discuss something with them or not.
Yeah. And at the end, we implemented other possibilities that every user can choose his workflow. So we have users, they started from Outlook or Google Calendar. In the future, we will have the possibility that Tempo integrates completely. So when somebody has a vacation set up or the day off set up in Tempo, that the out-of-office rule is automatically activated. So time saver, and to make it a little bit more logic. Second challenge, meeting. So when somebody has ever worked with me knows that I'm a meeting expert, a meeting efficiency expert. I can run a 15-minute meeting in 60 minutes. So we said, okay, we need to work on this, so especially for me. And we honestly asked ourselves, okay, bad meetings drive more meetings. And then potentially you have the same meeting again just to remember to the stuff what you discussed a week earlier. And to be honest, that happens to all of us. We said, okay, how can we handle this? And we said, okay, we need a tool that people prepare the meeting better. Because showing up in a stand-up, for example, and talking about what you have done on the weekend and what was your breakfast is nice. It's a little bit chit-chat. But at the end, it's not valuable for the teammates. And everybody was maybe checking mails parallel or Slack messages, etc. So we said, let's develop an app which helps with the preparation of apps. And at the moment, we are working on a stand-up app. So I'm looking forward to discuss with you the name for the app. At the moment, hot candidate is not another stand-up app. But at the end, what we are doing is to allow users to prepare meetings better, to add notes, and so on. And these notes are automatically added in Jira. So I only need to update my task once when I prepare the meeting and when I share the stuff. Same as when you hold the meeting, that you have timekeeping stuff and so on, you can flag meetings. And for me, as a manager, it's important. I can't join every stand-up. So simple, what I'm doing is checking out the dashboard. I can see the results of every stand-up. It cost me just 2-3 minutes, and I'm up to date what happens in the company at the moment.
But the real challenge, perhaps, for each of us was how are we going to start working differently? And not just aligning with these apps and so on, but how do we actually pick the right things at the right time and avoid distractions? I'm a writer, so I know a lot about procrastination.
Research.
Exactly.
It's research.
Yeah, research is a great way to avoid the hard work of sitting down and actually writing. Or any other things like an urgent email and so on. And the workflow that we're working on putting up, we've been working on Atlas since approximately May last year.
Yeah.
So we have a very light structure of goals. It's OKRs, but we wouldn't obsess about quantification. We also started, at least in the marketing team, we started with sprints after the meeting in Berlin, so in July last year. So we had the goals and we had the execution, but we were somehow missing something in between, the tactical part. What are we specifically going to do next? Or how do we ensure that we are executing the best ideas?
The Department of Good Ideas.
The Department of Good Ideas was missing. Yeah. And we just, we have started giving life to that department with Jira Product Discovery, which has a great integration with Atlas that you can try, I think, already. Yeah. Yeah, it's really exciting, this piece.
Super helpful tool, so really give it a try. Product Discovery from Atlassian. It helps us a lot. Another challenge is, we talked a little bit how we do things, but there's often the question why we do things. And we are all software companies, we are working on features, and at the end there are some customers aligned to the features, hopefully, when it's a successful feature. And at the end, the developer is working in Jira, Bitbucket, whatever, and we have sales and marketing teams there working in CRM systems. And we said, okay, on some point we need to align them. But what we don't want to do is to buy licenses for both and explain a developer how a CRM works and a marketing person how a Jira ticket looks like. So what we did is we created a HubSpot for Jira app and also a HubSpot for Confluence app that every user can stay in his environment, and they only need one license, so it's a nice side effect. But they can open tickets in the other system, and they can collaborate with the teammate. So means here in Jira, I simply add a HubSpot item to it. It can be a contact, a deal, a company or something like that. And then it's displayed direct in Jira in a table. I can filter the table down. I can switch a little bit the columns. And from the HubSpot side, I can do the same. My marketing person can here simple add new issues, ask requests, and so on. And they can collaborate with the Jira update functionality and a similar functionality in HubSpot. So it means no Slack messages, no emails about it, and everything is automatically documented. Really important point.
And it's really easy to have the full picture. Either way, if you are a developer or you are a marketer, you can have the full picture of what the other side has as a context because of this integration.
So it's always up. I'm a friend of implementing new tools on a monthly basis normally, so my team is a little bit stressed with that. So when we started with the 4-day week, we said, okay, we're using a lot Zoom, a lot Slack. But I said, we can't repair a DeLorean with a hammer. You need a proper toolbox. And at the end, we created this toolbox. We implemented a lot more tools. That's how it looks like now. Simple to have the right tools for the right tasks. And this was a little bit a challenge and adoption and so on, but a 4-day week is a nice motivator for it. So if you need to implement new tools, think about a 4-day week.
Yeah, and as you can see, Jira is at the core. Everything is connected to Jira more often than not. And we have the different specialized tools connected to that. For example, Figma for the UX UI, that was a new part for us. Just to give you a quick mention of an additional tool that we use for measuring our productivity, because that's the key metric that we want to beat. We don't want this to go down. We use Umano, which is an agile coach. They are sponsoring also, so they have a booth. It gives us a lot of the metrics of how much we are producing, how we are estimating, how accurate we are in that. We are going to be at the booth 61 in these days. If you want to come chat with us about anything.
You should, because that's our raffle item. So you can win a ride with a DeLorean on Thursday. You can have your own picture session. Simply visit our booth, take a picture with us. We have these amazing Marty McFly hats. And yeah, we're really looking forward to some talks with you. And at the end, we want to say thank you very much to Zybot Media for having us. And you are again a legendary partner from us. So Zybot Media, very good. You've done it very well with our tool.